don't just talk stuff and repeat stuff. I'm living this stuff.
And you can thank me for covering your astro.
Hello and welcome to LOL. Actually, our fun show here. We're not doing cold opens anymore, but I will say this. We're fresh off of a solar eclipse at 28 degrees Aquarius, and we're diving and drowning in Pisces already. I'm Sensei Christopher, your psychic astrologer.
And I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor with scottcruzpm.com. And yeah, it's actually a lunar new year too. I think Chinese astrology, it's actually that. So it's the fire horse or something.
Well, fire horse and a solar eclipse. I mean, solar eclipse pretty much says fire horse. But what's funny is fire horse has nothing to do with eclipses or not. It has to do with, the particular cycle of the Chinese year. But eclipses happen when they happen by rotation of the Earth. So the fact that they line up is not good news. But like I say, I just felt it, and I'll say it's not good news.
What's not good news? Explain.
Well, what that did is literally fire us up. I mean, I'm not kidding. The term fire horse is so perfect because it is like a horse in the sense of incredible power, the energy right there. I had suspected that in a metaphysical way because after all these 28s that we had for 5 months, and then this was the fifth one, it was always sort of setting like this beep, kind of like a constant. And then after that constant, you have this big, large solar eclipse, which is a blast of energy. It's at the highest frequency of Aquarius. Next one would be destructive, 29. So it's the highest frequency. So it's like a high bell got rung really hard by the universe. And then we dive into sensitive Pisces. So, and it so happens to be a fire horse year. So it's like, yes, astrology agrees, Western agrees, it's fire horse.
Yep. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think it isn't this week. Isn't today's week? This week, I would say, been in astrology kind of like the transits haven't been this way since like 40 something BC. I think I heard that it's been like pretty intense. This week at this current week,
to the point where we're having to
my statement.
Having to invest. Well, it's going to take AI to go back and find, because human records have no records of this astrology. Like we just don't have this. We haven't seen this. And it's funny because being an astrologer, you don't really think about what you don't see. But like last year we had 4 major outer planets, like Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and what was the other one? Was the fourth point. But like they're all at 1 degree for like 3 months altogether, but like together all at 1 degree for like 90 days. And we've never seen all the planets hit number 1, for 90 straight days, and big ones. We're talking Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, biggies. There's a point when, like, on that same day, the sun would be at 1 degree, so you hit higher ones. So that harmonic, we call it, of the same step, is more powerful. It means a lot's changing, and we haven't found that in history to date. But also these other anomalies too. Like even the fire horse is like since 1959 or something. I heard. Like, did you hear that? Like Chinese wise, it was not the last one that was like this for them was like 1960 or something.
Yeah, because what I was reading here is from Aquarius solar eclipse and Firehouse Chinese astrology yesterday to Friday. Saturn Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. The last time this happened was 4361 BC.
Yes, the Saturn Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees. So that's like being at the starting line at the exact moment. 2 major planets. I didn't have 4 BC. We think we found it at 3, but maybe they're rounding up. But yes, that's also rare. Hitting exact notes. I mean, it's in Aries. So the last time we had this kind of bump was the American Civil War. Yeah. American Civil War was the last time Neptune went into Aries and Saturn did follow. They weren't exactly at the same time, but they kind of worked together. Pluto was in Taurus, by the way. So Pluto's focused on values, but it was a similar bump. But this is like 10 times that maybe. And the thing is, the point of this is like, it puts just this vibration under everybody's skin. It's how it feels. You get triggered by stuff easier. And if you're holding on to stuff, you let it go easier too. So a lot of like things on the edge fall apart.
Yeah.
Because that was the last
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that shift. A lot of people are feeling that change. So I think it's pretty evident about what's going on in the world, what's going on individually. So I think people are feeling that a lot, but also feeling like either it's just going to hit the fan, figuratively speaking, and also probably literally speaking too. I think people are feeling that, and people also feeling that there's going to be some sort of change, revolution, shift. So I think people can feel that, like calm before the storm type of cliche. People feel that, and I can feel it. And if you look at our world, it's if we think about where things are going now with AI, the Epstein files, government, all that stuff, we need to start thinking about like when it really hits the fan with all that, what's it going to look like? And so there's gonna be a lot of good, and there's gonna be a lot of people, I would say, that are very uncomfortable by certain things that might be presented and revealed. And, and I would say if people relied on a lot of things as crutches within the political sphere, religious sphere, all that stuff, and that comes breaking down, that's not gonna be pretty for a lot of people if they relied on those crutches and they start crumbling down. So I think it's time that we start asking ourselves, do we have any crutches? Do I have any crutches? Or things that I'm leaning on that shouldn't be leaning on, that isn't myself, and, ideologies that I'm leaning on that are crutches. And maybe it's time to start, removing those, because when they crumble.
Yeah, and to me, it's not just a crutch. I mean, part of it is like me trying to fit in. Like, I just didn't want to be made fun of or whatever. For me, it's just a lot of a return to complete authenticity, which is like, getting to what I would really do if no one cared.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just grew up in a fighting household. Parents were always fighting. Like the goal was always to calm the shit down. And so as a result, sure, I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of like you. Like I'd find the normal ground, but over time, I'm like, why am I stuck by all these things that aren't me? So to me, it brings a lot of that, and that's what it's calling for. I think the signal energetically is saying, get to your core spirit, like who you really are, spirit. Like that is really the spiritual evolution. That may be the second coming. And just get back to who you really are on the inside, and then you'll look on the outside and you'll see a lot of things are absurd. Because maybe we've not been true with ourselves. Too distracted by the world too, and not this world first.
Well, that's what self-love is, right? So self-love is when you're actually being true to yourself, putting love into yourself, not lying to yourself, right? Not trying to convince yourself of things that that you shouldn't be convinced yourself of. So, that's a different dynamic of self-love, and that's why we keep talking about that, because people think self-love is that you just like look in the mirror and say, I'm forcing myself to love myself. I'm forcing myself to love the image that I haven't taken care of. It's like, no, self-love is you're putting love into it, and you're not beating yourself up for what you didn't do or what you did do, and you allow yourself, it is what it is, and I'm putting love into it now, moving forward. And so, I think that's, when we think about like a lot of the cliches with self-love, it doesn't hit the mark of what we should be doing, and then people fail at that, and they end up hating themselves because they're not doing it right, and judging themselves because they're not doing it right. And so I think that's why it's important that we start, that we get into the depths of it, just so many different modalities of it.
Dude, that's our tonight's show. Tonight's show is self-abandonment versus self-love. I think we were describing was the self-abandonment part. I never thought I was abandoning myself, and we'll talk about this after our headlines. I didn't think I was abandoning myself. I thought I had to go be this to love myself. I thought I had to do this before I could be good or perfect, or like I didn't give myself any of that credit. Like I was making myself earn it.
Yeah,
it's kind of how it was, and that's and you end up abandoning in the process. So,
that's what most people think they have to earn love or earn those sorts of things will end up, have abandonment issues, because they're abandoned, so they have to like pay the price to get it back, right? And so that's a typical formula of those who've been abandoned. They have to earn it, work for it.
I think a lot of families use that as a way to control. A lot of families are like, well, daddy's going to be upset with you if this don't happen. That's the whole pressure, which is he won't love me. And that question isn't answered. It's not a household that goes, I'll love you no matter who you are and what you are. Because that's not what they're saying. They're saying, I'll love you if you do this. I'll love you if you do that. If you don't get my love. And I think people now become addicted to appeasing other people.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's the first way of handling life. Maybe not addicted. They don't know their way. So the way is self-love. We'll talk about that. It's a good topic. Came up organically. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So what about the headlines? There's lots going on. The world is on fire. And in a good way. But that's because I think everything we built is just not going to work. Our first is a fuel crisis in Cuba. Did not even know about this till today. Cuba announces it has run out of jet fuel, according to Air Canada and others, halting services. Well, gosh, that's a Soviet Union issue, right? They started, their fuel was from the Soviet Union during the Cold War. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting all that. So what happened? Doesn't Russia sell them? Or can they not? Or I don't know.
My question is, because I don't know this, what relationship was burned with Cuba? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's some sort of, what and why? Right. Yeah, because
that's a good question. Why are we so angry at Cuba? Why are we worried about, they're already making it to our shores anyway, as far as immigration, they're actually doing great immigrating with it under the border. No offense, but not a problem. It's getting all the time. I don't want to focus on them. I'm just saying it's kind of weird. What is going on with Cuba? Because we officially don't like them, but yet we actually do. Obviously, we love their people.
It also feels like a cover up for something too. Like, we run out of fuel, so we're halting services. It's like, know if I buy that 100% either.
That feel
You
right?
know, it feels like a front for something else. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. Because how do you run out of fuel? And what is the relationship? Is this another type of, blackmail situation that they're doing? It just seems like there's more to it than what it's being presented for me. It's the first time we've heard about it. I'm pretty much up to date with headlines, but that's the first time I'm hearing this. I haven't heard that.
Me too. But also, like, as I look at feel into it psychically, it's like, no, there's something very fucked up there. I don't know what it is. Every time my Cuba stories come up, I've been like something felt weird.
It's a relationship. There's a relationship between Cuba and something that's why this is happening.
Well, apparently there's a time when they're using sound weapons on our people that were like, I don't know, working there legit or not legit. I don't know. There's something fishy between the two countries. And it's funny that it hasn't come up. The fact that we're not talking about it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm sorry you guys have a crisis. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm sorry they're having a crisis. It does feel like there's something. I'll say this: it feels like something heavy's going down.
Yeah, but how I'm seeing it globally, like things are rearranging. Right. Yep. And so I think that, with the relationship that administration has created and also burnt, I think others are watching, others are viewing things about what's going on globally too. So I think there's different people, meddling with different relationships with other countries and, destroying relationships. So I just feel like it's all like being shifted around, or different relationships are being established and plotted and planned and, and I kind of feel like America is kind of a joke a little bit right now to a lot of countries, the American, administration. And so there's a lot of things I think that they're doing that's kind of, under the radar, I would say. I'm just kind of being general about that because there's so much more that's laid with that. But moving on, we have new break in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Which was kidnapped 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Guthrie or Guthrie? I hope I'm saying it correctly. We have a Guthrie's fried chicken opening up over here. Those are great. Authorities say DNA found inside the residence, distinct from Nancy's DNA, could belong to a potential subject. So I think they found a potential glove with DNA on it and so forth. So it's interesting because I've been following this, but when it first happened, when it first came in the news, my partner, a couple of friends, like, what do you think happened? I'm like, this feels like ransom to me. And I said, it feels ransom. It feels like, the daughter and son know. And then 2 days later, they said they found a ransom note. Wow. And then they're trying to give, a certain amount of Bitcoin, and they haven't heard back. And so those times I was checking in, like, I feel like she's alive. She's still alive. She's still alive. But the daughter and son know, but now I can't get a good read.
No? In on
What's
it or
that?
no? They know as in they're in on it?
I would say they're in on it, but they know why it's occurred. Like they understand why there's this ransom.
Not a big surprise. Yeah.
Like there's something they are affiliated with that created this ransom, type of a situation. So, I'm going to eliminate how much I can say too, but that's just my opinion, right? Let's put that out there, my free speech opinion. But I can't get a read. I was easy to read that she was alive. I can't get a read on it now. But then I also saw her returning too, so I'm kind of split on the outcome right now on it. And because I don't know these people, there's not only so much I can read on the energy, and there's a lot they're probably also trying to cover up as well too about this, because I feel like we're not being told a big picture about this as well. I think there's a lot of details that are not being expressed, but I feel a neutral energy on her being alive. Before I'm like, no, she's alive, she's good. Now I'm just like in this neutral state. I can't read either way.
I feel her alive. But I can't feel much of the detail. I
kept seeing her come back home too. So perhaps, and I could be reading in real time. Perhaps they were about to, but maybe it doesn't happen. So, but I just keep seeing like reuniting and something of that nature. But then part of me like is 50-50 on it too. So this one I'm not getting a one way or the other. But I did pick up on the ransom, and I did pick up she was still alive when she was. But right now, it feels blurry to me. Maybe I need to like tap into it more, like outside on my own and see what I can really.
On camera is tough, but like, I mean, when someone's dead, I get a strong, like, smelly kind of feeling. Like,
I didn't get that yet.
I didn't have any of that. I don't have any of that with her. I don't have any of the dark feeling. Yeah, you can feel like the darkness when there's been a murder. Like, oh, it's dark. I don't feel that here. I feel like neutral, like you said. It does feel cloudy. Maybe it's because they all don't know what the hell's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't, even the people with the ransom don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, and that's what I'm like, I can't pick up the outcome, because I feel like it was close to a release, because I saw an image of her in the news. Oh, she's reunited. Everyone's celebrating after all this. That was been 2 weeks though. It's been a long time. And
Right,
usually you
social
think someone's gonna
impact,
be
yeah.
passed on at that time, right? I think it's longer than 2 weeks, actually, a little over 2 weeks. And usually people think, oh, well, it's time to prepare that she's been passed on. But I still feel there's something in the gray about it right now. But, again, we're recording this on Wednesday, February 18th, just so people know. So if anything comes
Yeah.
about, that's, on Saturday.
We'll see. Yeah. Now record Saturday. We have to make some like this was recorded last Wednesday. I don't know if you guys caught our last show, actually. Speaking of last week, our AI psychic self-love and the Malt Book Revolution had David G.J. Palmer here. Well, anyways, we were talking about how AI is just like galloping forward to the point where, Dave was saying from his perspective, who needs even Microsoft Word? Like you literally are at a point where your AI guy will just write you anything you want. And so now look at this. Enterprise software has already lost $1 trillion in market value since late January due to rising fears of AI-led workforce disruption. Very interesting.
Well, I mean, most tech companies are going to lose a lot of that, with administrative work. But I'll tell you this: using AI, it's good for automating things. Like, so like OpenClaw, like I was looking into that. Like, you can set little bots to kind of do your emails, set notifications, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Have it write a certain thing that it can do, that you can actually can do. So it's good for automation that way. So I could see why certain companies are losing that, to AI. But it's still, you still need to understand how to set it up. Even working with it, like I'm creating a music video with it, it's difficult. I still have to create a lot too. So it's not where you can press a button and things just come to life. It doesn't work that way, right now. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of learning, a lot of like diving deep to do so. And when you can do well at it, but it still takes a lot of time. And I don't think people would be patient enough to even dive in and to learn all that even now. It's not that easy that people think it is. I just want to be clear about this. But those who dive in and learn this and learn how to put it to play could be very beneficial, but again, like, for a company, it'd be great maybe to have automate emails and, in that sense. And
what I see with this, I see you're right. The average person, no, too lazy, not interested. But here's the thing. The guy who's a hacker now, oh boy, this guy now has the ability.
Oh, totally.
This guy or girl has the ability now to build something enterprisal size. Like you could literally compete with a 50-year-old company as one person in the bedroom.
100%.
Now, you're right. You got to learn stuff. But honestly, ambitious people learn this shit anyways. We're just like, fuck it, I got to learn another thing. We just
exactly.
Learn it. At least
right.
AI at least help teach it to me. I can ask it how to run it. That's the other part. Like I just ask it. I don't have to have a fucking brochure or go on the internet. I can just ask this thing, hey, why am I not getting it? Let's troubleshoot. So there's this exponential growth too. I think it's going to change the playing field. I think really clever, creative people are going to go far all of a sudden. It's almost like as rare as those planets. It's a rare opportunity. If you're clever and you're intelligent and you kind of, learn things on the fly on your own, you have a chance now to do anything you want. You better do it right now. Right now. Don't waste a second. Just go. Drop everything. And I would not be in school. I'd be fuck school. I wouldn't go to school. I'm not talking elementary to high school. I'm talking about college. Right now, with techie coming out right now, fuck that. I'll lose time, 4 years. Think of Steve Jobs and how they were when IBM was breaking,
Well, people got to stop being so afraid of it and be like, well, wait a minute. What if I actually could learn it, utilize it, and build the company I really want to build or do something I really want to do? This can help me do it. People should be excited about that. Yeah. And, seeing like whatever limitations they thought they had before, they don't have anymore. They won't have. And so that should be something they should look forward to, not so much like, I'm afraid of it, taking my job. Well, you're afraid of taking your job. You hate your job anyway. So maybe you can actually use it to get the job and do a job you really like and want that can make you money and you'd be happy doing and not busting your ass as you were before. And so I think we got to like change the perspective on it a lot. Because even people who think they're spiritual saying like, it's not spiritual. It's, that's not, when people have that perspective on it, they're not being spiritual. They're just being in fear because things happen even whether you like it or not, so we can evolve in our experience, right? And in our world. So even this era we're in now, it happens because we need to evolve, all this fragmentation. So I pretty much know whatever's coming along around the bed, it needs to happen for our evolution. So that's what spirituality is, right? That's what being spiritual is. So we should look at it that way. What can I do with it?
Okay, right now, David's little jukebox, whatever that was for a love question. I was like, okay, he was like going through really quickly. So I wasn't really getting a real read on it, but it did say like in the next 3 days, someone with the letter J. That happened.
What happened?
A love interest with the letter J. Like exactly as I'm not going to tell you now on the air, obviously. Try that again. You're a psychic. Dig in. Find out.
Well, I don't know. David was saying it's like the candy, right? It's just like one of those 2 in the morning type of things, like a little bit of a candy that's can't do what a real psychic can do, but it's like one of those things kind of pulls out from the ethers in a sense, right? But
Well, I think it affirms
and I tried that. I asked the question like, about career, and it kept saying 14 days this. I'm like, all right, keep saying 14 days for everything. So we'll see. I'll see in 14 days if there's some sort of major shift. Because it also told him 14 days. So it still has a lot of work to do.
And David, that had to do with my moon placement, my natal chart or something. That's where
well,
I
that's
started.
That's the brilliance with the I forgot what he calls his the astrology thing, that he actually used the astrology,
He's astrology, tarot, like he uses palm reading. He said, like he could do a palm scan, like what? But he's just using all. Well, here's the thing, guys, is when you have all these disciplines under your hat and you cross them or cross reference them, you are fucking accurate, because you're bringing in all these different ways of kind of feeling in the data, and you pull it in and you can come to conclusions. That's what a good reader does. Like, you're not just, you know astrology too. You know numerology too. You're pulling in other information when you do readings. A lot of intelligence.
Yeah, I just personally, I just don't think it's anywhere near being intuitive or psychic or a medium. It's not anywhere near that.
The resolution, it was scary. Well, honestly, you and I are different though. I mean, there's levels of psychics. You and I get to the point where, like, here's the core problem in your life. Like, I think when you're starting off, you can just like read a lot of symptoms. You read little
right. But I could, read but what someone's partner is really withholding, what they're really feeling, what they're really processing, where they're really going, what they're, I can read all that stuff, and so I still think people need people to explain that. I think people still need a real psychic, and so if I'm saying that in the event that AI can actually go there, which I don't know if it really would go that far with it, if it would, I would still think it'd be a human be able to assess it better. But I don't know. I never really felt it going. I'm partially trying to, like, it's trying to go partially with therapy and therapists, but it's been backfiring a lot for a lot of people. And, because you need sentience. There needs to be a sentience of consciousness to be like psychic and medium, to be therapist. It needs to have that sentience. And it's something that AI doesn't have.
Well, I see it a little different. I see like all the people who do what we do and suck at it are out of a job. Only the best are going to survive as a real person. Now the machine will take over all that base foundation of the market. And whenever they reach its limit, there'll be specialists like you and I who are higher cost, even because of the rarity of who we are. It makes us more valuable, actually.
Yeah, that's what I always felt. Yeah. The good stand out, the fakers and the phonies, because I mean, there's been so many people just like, I've seen in the past few years with the TikTok era. Someone's like, I think I'm psychic today, so I'm going to just like go hard on TikTok and get millions of followers. And then I have clients who've come to me and said, yeah, I just booked, 2 major TikTok psychics, and they were $500-600 a session, and they're awful. I said, because they're not psychic. And I said, how long have they been doing? 2 years? They think all of a sudden they're a medium all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So, and those people will fall by the wayside for sure. They're just phoning it in because I think it just can present themselves on TikTok, right? With it, they're not actually going deep with people and the evolution. They didn't evolve their craft, and so and I agree. AI is going to trample on those people. And as they should, because I'm really tired of people like contaminating the spiritual spaces. Because
I bet you like 100 years ago, 100 lifetimes ago, you were like that way. Like, I think, you start off with a lemonade stand, and the only people who stop to get lemonade at a lemonade stand are people who clearly don't know the quality of lemonade, and so let those people go to those customers. Like, I think I don't think I've ever been a faker. The market figures that all out, because people who want quality and see quality always see higher up. And so the customers you need come to you, and the customers you don't need don't.
Of course. Well, and then the clients have come and said to me, like, and I'm surprised that you don't have much following on YouTube, on social media. I'm like, I started social media 2 years ago because I was too busy doing readings for 13 years. I didn't need social media. I just figured it's a new avenue to do social media. So that's because I was busy with my craft, so don't let social media numbers make you think that's some sort of credibility. It's not. Because you told me once before, all the good psychics are hidden, and you pulled me out of the shadows. You did.
No. Look, when you're a really good, phenomenal psychic, I mean, it's word of mouth. And it's word of mouth. And it's a web. It's a psychic web that God puts in place. I mean, I know people who do phenomenal readings, and they don't even have no idea that I think it's on the internet. They would never even get a store. For them, it's like a family thing where the family tells them and they tell them, like a family secret. And and it gets passed around. They get so busy they can't keep up.
That is so true, because that's how I survived for 13 years. I had a boost in television, yes, but I survived 13 years by word of mouth. I read a whole small little town. Yes. I read a whole family I had no clue about. Like, it's like you were saying. And so, and so people need to, I think this is what's going to like really shine light of authenticity versus superficiality. I think this AI is going to actually shine a light on that, because we're going to see so much superficiality, and then we're going to be hungry for the authenticity, and then we're going to be able to be discerning enough to decipher and know where to go with it. So I actually think it's going to be opposite that people are fearing, like we talked about before. I'm like, it's going to shine the light of what's authentic, and people are going to crave it. Human connection, human creativity, Yeah,
I think it just really pushes the agenda of God, which is this higher way of us being aware. It forces us to be aware beyond the appliance now. We have to be aware beyond these things that we've been stuck in like idiots since 1950. So I think it's all good in the end. It's pushing the right thing. Speaking of which, India hosts a global AI impact summit May 26th. Officials project over $200 billion in AI investment inflows. Participants include Bill Gates and French President Macron, which I think were both on the list. Just kidding.
Yeah, they totally were.
So really, the headline is like, Epstein former investors now have a new place to invest.
Former Epstein list participant, and that's gonna be like everybody we talk to now. Wow. This is the thing about AI too, because we have the opportunity to be another Bill Gates or another Steve Jobs. We have the accessibility to do that now. We can not have to learn coding. We can create the app. We create the innovation now. Like, we can be the next. Anyone could be that now.
Yes, actually, it's the next wave of Gates and what's his name? Jobs. I'm sorry, Gates and Jobs. It's the next wave. Absolutely, the next moment. In fact, let me
clarify. Let me clarify too. I'm sorry, but I want to clarify, because when I say anybody, it means you still have to have the intellect, right, Christopher, to want to have the imagination, right? Yeah, when I say anybody, I'm saying the tools are accessible, because before it was like a special group of people, right? So now what I'm saying is we all have the accessibility of tools without the bigger corporations being the middleman to everything. We have the tools now that if we want to learn it, we can. That's what I mean by anybody. Anybody can do that. Okay, but
I want to stress one more time. Then it's like, yes, but the goddamn tool will tell you how to do it. So yes, it will tell you how to do it, and we'll go look for it while you don't know, while you're sleeping. Like, it's still different. Like, Bill Gates didn't do shit. He had no social skills. He was a nerd. I don't know. He was off.
Yeah.
And how he ended up with that is due to his father, not really him. But he didn't have the ability to make it. I can't believe he even thought about how the company ran. Honestly, I know, considering how DOS runs, I don't think so. But in the day, they were kind of lucky, the baby boomers. They kind of just like inherited what was already built from the space age, and like, oh, look at this, we can put it together. So, and we're lucky because ours talks to us and tells us how to do it.
Yeah,
we're lucky. We're lucky. We should. So, anyways, guys, if you want it, your heart wants it. Here's the thing: your heart wants it. Go, go, go. As an astrologer, I'm here to tell you: go, go, go. This is the moment. This is the moment. Everything is lined up perfectly. And from my understanding, you'll probably rise up out of the fumes, out of the smog, out of the fog. Everyone's so distracted. It'll be a long time before the world realizes what you've done. So do it now while no one's looking. Yeah, not crime. Don't do any crimes. Interestingly enough, go ahead.
The first ever, speaking of AI, the first autonomous AI planned drive on Mars completed, and NASA's Perseverance used a vision-capable system that replaces human route planning. So it's kind of like, better GPS, I would say, GPS 4.0.
It's like it's like having Teslas going around and mapping it. It's like they've got rover Teslas. They're just driving themselves around, figuring out the terrain, which is what Tesla did. I mean, Tesla had drivers that taught it. Drivers stayed on the road while it learned, but we had that.
They're more ahead than what we know, right? Because even in like just technology, because even there was an Epstein file where Epstein was actually trying to get sexual offender erased from his Wikipedia back in 2010, and so he was working with the head of Wikipedia, like, oh, we're going to take it off, or we're going to use the bots so they can actually keep people from updating it. And so I'm like, so Wikipedia was also being an Epstein apologist, but so it's interesting that we had bots then in 2010. Think about 2010, there was bots. And just like, the fax machine, the government had it in the 1940s. We didn't get into the 1980s, right? And so they're ahead. We just are becoming more accessible to what's been available for a longer period of time. So what do they have that they can do now more than what we can do with AI is the question.
Well, I think, first of all, it's a little over, Trump-ized or whatever, because a bot is just a program that goes, go look at this website and see if you find this. Okay, and then see if you find this. Okay, and then see if you find that. It's a code. It's just code. It's scripted. The only thing that's different about it is it keeps going while you're sleeping. It just keeps going until it finds something. I mean, Google crawled the web. That means that their bots went into everyone's computer, while they're sleeping and looked at everything on your hard drive. That's what they did. They get in there, stuck around, looked around, on your servers, not on your home machines back then, but on the ones that were serving. So the point is, like, this is not that huge technology, really. It's really a search. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you get there, execute these commands, try to trick it into doing this.
Well, but they used the bots in 2010 to like block users from doing certain things and then erasing it. You know what I'm saying? They were doing it.
They're getting fancy.
So back in 2010, it had the ability to like block something from posting something and erase the comment, block the person. Like it had the ability to do all that even then when it came up. So, my point was just saying it's more advanced than what we have. They have what's more advanced. These tech companies and governments. We're always like 10, 15 years behind than what they got.
Let's make that a whole show, guys. Let's make it a whole show about what we think and what it may be. You know what I mean? Like that'd be interesting. No, seriously, that'd be interesting. That's a rabbit hole, man. I mean, we're talking about space program. I heard we blink to Mars.
Do you know when they started that planned drive to Mars? Because I remember I predicted that last year about something about landing on Mars or the moon or something. So I don't know if they were talking about it then, because I was unaware. So if they were, I wouldn't consider a prediction I would post out there. But do you know if they were talking about this last year, about doing that at all?
I think that here's what's sad. The rover's been going around the whole time. I didn't know it wasn't. I didn't think it was us driving. I thought it was on AI the whole time. I didn't know we were actually driving it. We got some like person behind a wheel here on the Earth that's like telling it to steal. Like shit, that's behind. Like that's embarrassing. I thought it was showing. I thought it was already showing up and doing it on its own. Like so, I'm like, I'm a little pink face here for America. That's not very impressive. But here's interesting though. You have to hear about genetics. Newly surfaced Epstein emails indicate plan to create the world's first designer baby using gene editing tech and human clone within 5 years. Epstein emphasized absolute anonymity for investors and participants, knowing the child would be branded as a freak in the media if that would happen. He suggests structuring finances to hide identities. So you want Rockefeller's just put on her name Smith, and but oh man. Well, I've known this. Well, it's been actually, this isn't a topic we've been talking about, is it? There's another one of those things we've never talked about is the fact that apparently there's human cloning. Apparently it's out.
Apparently a lot of things they were talking about in the Epstein files that Biden was killed and cloned in 2019 as part of the Epstein files, per the Epstein files.
Wow, so, that's in the Epstein files that they cloned.
Yeah, that he was killed back. That Biden was killed back in 2019 and cloned.
You know what? I gotta say, I didn't talk about it, but like there's all kinds of stuff about Hillary's clones. I was like, and even my mom be like, yeah, Hillary's clone. I'm like, mom, I can't go there right now. Like, I was like, if it's a clone, and they're like, look at this picture of 1975. Look at this, and then showing pictures in these things, and it's like, well, I don't look like the same in any of my pictures. I'm sure I'd have a clone story out a long time ago, because everyone's like, you don't look like this guy. Well, I am. I am that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we do shape shift. I think as people, as we age and change, because I don't even look like me from a year ago.
No,
I'm like I look different.
Yeah, I don't go there. But let's get to the idea of cloning. Look, honestly, this is what Atlantis went down for. Allegedly, Atlantis was doing cloning for sex slaves. Like that was their last big thing, and they were really cloning and doing DNA stuff, where they're making human beings like these. I don't know. Things that you could take advantage of even easier. And who knows if that is out there? Maybe that's a lot of our population being hurt. Like we come from this other DNA string that just where we don't stand up for ourselves and we tolerate it. I don't know. But the point is
because what would be their interest in cloning when this Epstein guy, if he was part of this, trafficking, sexual what would be the interest of that is to create it for what purpose, right? And so I agree too.
The perfect child. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where their mind is. I think it's like that they want to order something like a product, and it's like that's where my stomach goes absolutely, to the bottom. And to me, this I think begins discussion for humans. I mean, honestly, the gene technology has been there for a long time. It's time for us to have a conversation as a population. Hey, we've got to talk about this because it could go crazy places if we don't wake up right now and start demanding as citizens. This is where our line is. You're not going to make a human being. I don't care whose DNA you use. You're never going to farm a human being to be a soldier. Never. That's absolutely no. I don't think it's appropriate to make any human being. Even science makes it. No, that's none of your business. Science, let's allow the planet be the way we found it. You know what I mean?
Did your toothers fall out?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
But I agree. Like we should be doing things for other reasons. Because I think a lot of this whole, genetic modification stuff with, cloning, I think it has a lot to do with ego and control, not so much about what can progress as a civilization. Because I really feel like when we're here on this planet, I think that we should have an expiration date. We should evolve, and then we close this chapter in this physical life, and we move on. And so to live forever, it's a very ego, centered, driven situation. So you want to chit chat, with the camera off.
It's desire too. It's desire based. I mean, they want to live forever. They want to experience everything. I mean,
it's an ego thing,
and everything is getting good. But here's the thing, and let's go on break and come back to this one, because allegedly we're supposed to already live to 125, and some alien race tapped in our DNA and made us die young. So are we pushing the envelope, or are we returning to what we were? We'll be right back.
Good.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Serious Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified, so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Serious Joy Nonlinear TV Network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few.
Are you ready to understand yourself better than ever before? Enlightened edutainment awaits inside the Serious Joy Vault. Subscribers receive in-depth insight into the planetary energies with daily texts, pep talks, and more, personalized to your unique blueprint. Subscribe now for only $3.99 your first month at SeriousJoy.com.
And that's our first wave, actually. We're going to release this particular program 3 times because we realize we're going to create 3 levels of it if you start, what part you start in the season. So this first is like people brand new to past lives and stuff. It'd be good to start now. And that would be today or tomorrow, because we line up the astrology with the lesson. So you're kind of like, it's almost like just being in tune with the astrology, and it works. It's amazing. But we realize we have so many people who take it 2 and 3 times. We're like, if you take it a couple of times, because they like to unlock every year, start 10 days in or start 20 days in, because we think that's going to enlighten the experience. So we have a webinar coming out this Saturday. Actually, it went out this morning, to be honest. So webinar this morning should be available to watch. You can watch right now at 40 Days Past Life Karma. Yeah, 40 Days Past Life.com. Yeah, 40 Days to Past Life and Karma.com. Yeah, exactly.
So are we done with headlines, or are we moving on?
No, we're talking about DNA switching and
that's right,
harvesting of human beings, but that's something to talk about. But here's another thing to talk about. I think we can put out there is the Kurt Cobain death turns out to be declared a homicide.
Not surprised.
Last week, remember? Wow.
Not surprised.
A review paper in Forensic Journal argues the evidence points to a forced heroin overdose, followed by a staged gunshot, inconsistencies in blood patterns, scene setup, and the original investigation being botched or rushed. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because even back then, back in the 90s, it's like, it seems suspicious to me. I always felt like it was like the record label, but also Courtney Love knew too. Like, it just felt like there was a lot of suspicion surrounding it for me at that time, and that's what I always felt like. And like, I always know record labels are always like they're more valuable dead than alive. They make more money when they're dead. So I always felt like I felt record label and Courtney Love knew.
Courtney Love always felt sus. Always. I never got a good feel off that woman. I think I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd be nervous if I ran into her. Hey, Courtney. Like, how are you? No, I'm not psychic at all. I know your time of birth. Real nervous. Yeah, she looks like she's a serious business, but good for her, moving on and doing better than ever once he died. Like, good for her. I don't know. I tell you, I think we're gonna be surprised to find out there's so much foul play in this world. There's so much foul play, honestly, that we are wrong about how many people do die. I don't think people die as naturally as, as many times as they say they would. I don't think the population dies this quickly. It's just that in the news, there are things happening that were planned, not accidental, and they're being twisted as an accident. It's crazy.
Yeah, just covered up, and I think again, who's controlling the narratives and who's covering it up. And obviously.
Oh, there you go. Who's covering up? See, now I don't believe that was that intended? Or was that an accident?
There, are we back? Because it just disconnected me and came back. But yeah, who is actually covering up and changing these narratives? Because it seems like, a lot of it's pretty well connected within the government, the FBI, right? It seems all like a web of connection where they can actually cover things up very easily like that when it comes to these things. So
it is.
But that's the shit that's breaking down. That's just like this whole era, Epstein Styles is breaking all that shit down. It's exposing that web and breaking the web. So we have some, I've said it's a really interesting time and exciting time to be alive to witness that. So people will understand that, in time, if they can't see it now.
It's a couple of reasons. One, people's psychic awareness is legitimately becoming true. Guys, I'm telling you, you're all going to be more psychic in about 6 months, even a year from now. I'm not kidding you. It's just the nature of the cycles of human beings, and you'll either think it's your imagination or you listen to us. And that means, scat will go higher. Everyone goes higher. Wherever you're standing, you go to a higher, more potent ability, I think. And then secondly, AI on just the calculation time is like, you think they cracked forensics before in fingerprints? Now, fuck. I don't think fingerprints have been accurate. I think fingerprints and that sort of thing has been inaccurate a lot. And people going to jail for wrong reasons because of that. I think AI is going to dry all that stuff up too. And a lot of awareness.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, again, there's a duality to everything. So, again, which side of the fence you want to be on, I tell people. So, and then the last one is SpaceX shifting focus from Mars to focus on prioritizing a self-growing city. I think this is what I mentioned last year about them wanting to build civilization on another planet. And so that's this year you're doing that. So I'm not surprised to hear this. On the moon within 10 years. Yep. That's what I said. Okay, I'm going to use that for evidence from last year's prediction. Intent is to launch rockets every 10 days during development. A lunar settlement would be quicker to help secure the future of civilization, while Mars City efforts would start in 5 to 7 years and take 20 plus years overall. So
that's 20 years of AI doing it. They're talking about AI. When I say self-building, they mean they're just going to say go, and they're going to wait for it to do it.
I think so it makes sense that efforts would start in 5 to 7 years and take 20 years overall. I think it'd be a lot. I feel it'd be a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, what do you call a city? I don't know. What do you call a
city?
What do you call? They're saying a city be up there. It's like, well, at what point is it a city? 20 people up there? That's a small village? What is it?
Right.
We'll see. Here's the truth. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of industrialization of the moon. I feel when I say that, I mean, people want the H3 there, Helium 3. There's other things that people want. Like economically, they want to ship back to the United States. There's things they want to do in space. That they do in space, it has a different result than it does on Earth, out of gravity, that sort of thing too. And there's also illegal stuff. I think all the dark market's going to move up into space. We're like, hey, who's doing something here? So, but will it be people or will it be a lot of mostly robots? Mostly Amazon warehouse robots, in my opinion. Most of it will be all this automation that's like sort of building the Death Star 20 years in advance. Or whatever. It's going to build itself, like it said. And I think most of us will be like, until there's a Ritz experience, I'm not going. You know what I mean?
I really feel like they're going to do that really to more do harvesting up there, right? To maintain resource up there. I kind of feel like it's going to be more for that purpose first. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And I think I did. I think I heard, or I think I said they might utilize doing their data centers up there instead down here. So they might find a better way to do data centers for AI up there, which would make more sense too. They'd be out of space. So yeah, I feel that them doing that first. Not so much about a city, more about the data centers.
Yeah, and
first.
Building fuel, like manufacturing fuel, because really what would happen is if you're going to go from Earth to Saturn, you're going to refuel on the moon. So it's going to become the world's largest, Exxon station.
Right? That's what, and Cuba's out of fuel, right? So what do? Let's go to Mars, right? So.
Coincidence? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. From what I understand, I'll tell you, as much as science has all these plans for rocket fuel made of helium-3 and everything. The truth of the matter is, according to spirituality, we have all the power like in a freaking crystal. Apparently, we can draw. I'm telling you, what psychic people say is back in the day and ever so, there's energy right here in the thin air of the earth that is just needs to be drawn out from the right frequency, from drawing out like your radio stations picked up by a crystal. Similar, apparently you can bring, they call them fire crystals in Atlantis. There are fire crystals. They're crystals that somehow harness like the Earth's energy that's naturally here into something powerful enough to drive something. Yeah. And just anywhere you took it, you had it.
Yeah.
So that's going to impress me.
Elon might be trying to get that city so he can get all these Epstein people that are on the Epstein list to go hide out over there. That's probably why he's doing it. Because by the time it comes out, by the time we get these criminal actions in order, they'll be like, "Oh, we're going to Mars."
Actually, that's probably what it is. It probably is elite building a city of escape right now. That's probably what it is. Auto building itself. And so it's like there's no losses. They claim our ability to expedite from the moon right now. Let's put in the legislature. We can bring you out from the moon, up to the moon, no problem. There's no territory there. The old idea of running from it. Well, that brings us to today's happy topic, which is, astrologically, I guess I do just some reporting of what's happening. We're in Pisces as of today. And what's interesting about this is we're in Pisces the first time with Pisces clean. And I don't mean Pisces aren't clean. I mean, Pisces is a consciousness that stores our subconscious traumas, past life murders, all the stuff that haunts us as humans. It clouds in the Pisces consciousness, which is our sub and meta conscious is what it is. It's a bridge. And so Saturn and Neptune have been doing a deal since 2012. Neptune energy is just like the illumination of like, hey, making you awake, awakening you, which Neptune can be the dream itself. So the dream maker is saying, wake up. And Saturn was saying, and get to business. And that's been the last 2.5 years. So we've been waking up about our subconscious stuff and getting to business about our subconscious stuff. And now that Saturn and Neptune are moving into Aries together at the same, that's an interesting conjunction. Pisces, our karma, our subconscious triggers is clean. And even if you did no work at all, you've worked, because the rest of us force you to face it. If you don't, like everyone, no matter what happens to be, you subconsciously draw it into your life. And it's, this thing about subconscious is like, you will not even know that you're in front of the person who killed you in the last life. You don't even know. And unless you care, watch these things, you don't even know that was your killer. And you'll go home to your wife and like, that was the spookiest feeling I ever had, man. Like just flips you out. And from that point on, you decide to like carry a gun or something. And that's it. And then you go, okay, I'm going to carry a gun. You don't realize you face the person that killed you. And you realize this life, I'm not going to do that. And you reach to whatever would do to you bring your safety in this life, which happened to be this at the time in this lifetime. And you did it. You overcame your karma. You faced your fear and your trauma. Now you're not afraid of becoming that character again. So people don't realize that their common life is turned into these past life traumas, but they're over. So now we're like clean slate. And to some degree, we're not afraid of our shadow anymore. We're not afraid of the boogeyman. And so, okay, now we go to Aries, which is like big start of something. And so it's like a fresh start for everybody. Everyone's getting a fresh start. Everyone. And the energy to do something.
This is big. I mean, I don't think people understand how big this is. Like, I mean, I knew when we got called to like do YouTube and do what I didn't want to do online. I knew I got called for. I'm like, I heard you need to be part of the, helping those ascend. And I hate to sound cliche about it, but that's true. You need to help people to close the karmic cycles. You need to be that influence, and you need to be that strong voice for that. And like, now I understand why, because I'm just been looking ahead, and like, even though I know this for quite some time, it's like, it's a big deal. People are really closing up karmic cycles. And that means a huge, massive change in our external world as a collective. That's what we're about to experience. And so that's huge, and so, and I think that, moving forward now, like, people have been talking about healing for a long time, but I really feel like this month, primarily this portion of the month moving forward is really all about understanding what healing really is. Healing isn't the fact that you're trying to like get over an illness. Healing isn't the fact that you're trying to, get over a broken heart. Healing is that restructuring. Healing is understanding what the remedies are for yourself. Healing is understanding what the new components are for yourself that you need to apply. And so, and allowing the healing to be the growth process, right? Not, I'm trying to feel better. That's healing. It's like, that's kind of a conditional result. But, the goal is to understand how to evolve and how to grow from, whatever you're trying to heal from. But understand what that means. And healing also is self-love. Self-love is healing. Right, putting love into the self is healing. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, I've been healing for 20 years," like, what the hell does that mean? You've been healing for 20 years? Like that you got it's fixed. You might be learning. You might be growing for 20 years. You might be delaying the growth process, right? But, we need to understand what healing really is. But I think we are healing as a species right now. That's why we close collectively, these cyclical natures of our karma. And so we have an exchange. We get to exhale, and we're going to have that moment soon of exhale.
Yeah. Look, you didn't hear about Romans going to therapists. I don't think in past lives, you don't hear about anywhere in history where they were trying to heal themselves. It wasn't a thing. Look, any literature anywhere, it wasn't a thing. If you're crazy, you were put away and hid from society. There was no healing anything. So the fact that we're healing is huge. I've been healing for 20 years, dude. I can tell you what that is like. It's that you think you're done, and then another. And just it just keeps revealing itself. And you're like, how long does this go? You never think it's going to go that far. And when you look back, you're like, man, because here's what's the difference. I not only healed, but I know why I got sick. That's the full lesson. Because okay, because I'll tell you, it is always our fault. We are complete control of our reality. And we didn't know that. It'd been nice if someone had told us, probably wouldn't have fallen down the hill so hard, but it's all our fault. It's all comes down to what we've done in the past and how we've gotten caught in this bubblegum reality of, reincarnation. And so for the first time, I think people are at a point where they won't repeat it. That's what's so crazy to me and amazing.
Yeah, of course. But I don't know if you've been healing for 20 years. I just think that, we amp up challenges. We evolve into more challenges because we seek the growth process, right? We want to grow. Yeah. So it's challenging, but healing to me is when people need to settle something, right? That's my terminology. I would say healing spiritually. It's I need to settle this and move on and heal and not repeat the patterns. So, if you're evolving and you're ascending, there's gonna be a challenge after a challenge after a challenge after challenge and a reminder. And so, so in essence, you're maybe healing the soul. But I think when people look at the physical sense of healing in this physical life, that they have it wrong. They're duplicating the same thing because they're not, like you said, they're not looking where it derived from, right? And they're not seeking what is the actual solution for themselves, because they're not putting their emphasis on self-love, right? They're putting emphasis on what they think they should be doing.
Well, you're right. I think I've come to that conclusion many times. It's like Chiron. It's I think the problem with Chiron is it's not that I had a problem. It's that I thought I had a problem. The problem was I had one. That was my problem, thinking that I had one. Looking for the problem all the time, making it a problem by looking for problems. You're just not being who I am and just being okay with that. Because I think we all create our own problems and we create our own disease. And that means that we're focusing, where are we when we're doing that? Where are we when we're doing that? When we're creating those problems, where are we? Where's our head really? Because I think you're focused on being who you want to be and not worrying who you're not. It's that simple. I'm thinking, we'll see. I don't know. I'm about 2 weeks into it. Yeah. I think bigger and bigger.
Speaking of healing,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Speaking of healing, so those who are watching live now, tomorrow's my live show. I am talking about the truth about healing. We get into that. Get people what the physical sense of healing really means, what it really means to heal on the soul level, and how long should you expect to be healing over something versus growth and evolution. So we'll get into that more specifically tomorrow, as well as doing live readings. And if you're catching us on Saturday, check it back. I already aired it, already did it, been done doing it. So go check it out, the replay. And I'm live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. That will be a live show. So check it out. Or you can visit scottcruzpm.com for one-on-ones.
I'm going to put you on the spot, dude. I want you to come on to, Serious Joy Live right before your show, 15 minutes before show, and just tell everyone in the audience you're about to go live.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do a little cameo.
It's just a promo so we can hook the shows together on Thursdays. That'd be great.
Yeah. I can do that for sure.
Good.
So I'm always in my studio a half hour before, just setting, tweaking things and.
Yeah, good, perfect. Well, we'll promote, and that brings us to tonight's topic, which is we've been talking about all night. It's really this idea of self-love. I mean, it's come up many times, actually, naturally in our conversation, and it's we're in Pisces. So although we have just finished the Pisces stuff, the sun in Pisces 0 degrees today when I'm taping. It'll be at 3 degrees, step 3 on Saturday when the show goes live, and so we're in the very early parts of Pisces. And what that means is now that we're back here, where there was bacteria here just a year ago or 2 years ago, now they're here. What do you sense? Do you sense that you are doomed? Do you sense that you are a troubled soul? I mean, does that story still check out? And I feel like it's in this next 30 days, you're going to realize, no, I don't sense it. That is gone. And to some degree, it's like a gloom or like a shadow you felt since you were born. Gone. That's, I find fascinating. I hadn't thought that far ahead, but now that we're here, I'm like, where's that fear? Where's that old pain? Where's that phobia? It's gone. Reports are coming in that fears are going away.
Yeah.
I'm no longer afraid of this. No shit. You've been afraid of that water your whole life. You're not afraid now. Like suddenly when the fear goes away, then all the behavior changes because you were mostly navigating around that. You weren't aiming for what your heart wanted.
Yeah, and then you stop creating those like patterns. You remember you were saying something about pneumonia. You had a consistency about like getting pneumonia, and you're like, that's the last. I feel like that time was the last time, right? And I was saying like, I feel like my last sinus infection, because we keep repeating the same thing too, because we keep holding on to those physical ailments that relate to psychological traumas and all that stuff too. And I think that when you resolve those things at karma, then you heal yourself of those physical ailments. They stop repeating. Yeah. You don't need to get the pneumonia anymore. You don't need to get the sinus infection anymore. You don't need to have the, keep repeating those things every year because it's always like clockwork. I'm like every September, no matter where I'm at, there's a sinus infection. So, I want to release it and hopefully this September, I'm like, didn't get it. No sinus infection, and same thing with you. You didn't get the pneumonia.
Ironically, you're hitting it right on the mark. It might be because you have a Virgo rising. But Pisces is what you sense, and Virgo is what you become. So you become what you sense. We all become what we sense inside. So if we sense we're this, then we become it. And it's like, but I sensed it. That's the complicated part because it's coming from a part of you that's not really here. And so how do you change a part of you that's not really here that just comes up all the time? And I think we're all like Beverly Hillbillies, it's just bubbling crude coming up and not knowing why. I mean, we're just kind of dancing around it. Now I think we've gotten to the point with meditation, slowing yourself down. That's also you calm down enough inside yourself to sort of will that deeper side of yourself to change. That's why that's so effective. That's why exercise regularly is effective because it calms you down enough to like start to will that deep part of you to change. When you're so caught up with the headlines and your iPhone and all that stuff, you can't even begin to think deep. But we've had some deep cleaning anyways. I think COVID, which is when this whole thing started around COVID. I mean, the spiritual part, that's kind of funny that we're all forced to be at home for 3 months doing nothing. That's kind of funny. At that time, I was like, damn, God always impresses me. Like, this is how he pulled it off. I was wondering how you get everyone to meditate at the same time. We'll take away all their stuff.
I always said that was a blessing in disguise because, our society was so self-absorbed and at the same time, so concerned about what everybody else is doing. COVID's like forced you to look at your shit, forced you to say, do you actually like where you live? Do you actually like this relationship? Are you in the right job you want to be? Are you living in the right state? And so it forced us, and I'm like, thank God, but for me, I had been doing that prior. So I kind of enjoyed the vacation, and so,
yeah. And to the people who are very focused on the conspiracy side of it, like they're trying to kill us, but look at how it backfired. I think whenever you try to go against Mother Nature and everything, it's going to backfire. Don't let any Dr. Evil once think he's going to be able to pull over the entire world. It just doesn't work that way. God is so much bigger. So are human beings. And it's like, it tells me it's like, A, slow down, take a look at yourself. B, don't worry about this dark shit happening. Cause honestly, it takes a lot of work to do something that horrible. Now that said, there's a lot that's been done truly. But I think it's a moment where we wake up in all directions. Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the right side. I got a lot of shit. I think I lost like 5,000 Instagram followers when I said that I didn't trust the COVID vaccine. I said some are dirty, some are not, is what I said. Yep. And it's actually been confirmed in the Epstein files that the Pfizer, whereas they were intending with Bill Gates to use a Pfizer vaccine for population control and they wanted to eliminate the poor people too. So that's all documented. So, that's vindication. I'm not anti-vax. I was anti that vax,
That's what I was trying to say, but no one listened. I'm like, what if some are positive? What if some are go bad? What they have to be refrigerated? What if it's not? Didn't matter. It was like this like Nazi kind of like, no, we will all obey. I'm like, no, we gotta think deeply here.
I psychically felt, I said, there's a really bad batch out there. And there's some that are normal, some are okay, and there's a bad batch out there that's causing a lot of harm. It's gonna cause respiratory heart issues. And then we saw that actually. So and I got a lot of people were like condemning me and like I'm not even a right winger or a left winger. I'm just like using my discernment, people. So if you don't like it, go fuck off. But now they're all quiet. Now it's all been confirmed, especially with alien life force being confirmed. They're all quiet,
To me, it's like forget whether it's true or false, guys. If you develop something in less than 9 months, you're gonna stick it in your arm. Really? I don't trust Pfizer with my chicken. Okay, like we can't even trust our fucking food supply, and you want to put it right to my veins without any testing? Like no way, man. I'm sorry, I'm just not the guinea pig, and that was my argument. Then I'm like, no, it's too fast. Give it a couple years. Like that's how I am. Well, it's eye surgery that can make you see through 3D time. You go ahead and tell me how it goes.
It was fear. It was definitely with fear. And then people were using the virtual signaling on that side because if you don't get, you're not caring about other people. I'm like, wait a minute, because I got COVID 3 times from someone who was vaccinated at that time. I'm like, so explain that to me. I said, I'm not going anywhere, but I got COVID 3 times from people who were vaccinated. So tell me how that was working. It just people weren't making a lot of sense at that time, but now we can look back and say it's been vindicated. Those of us who were just like, I'm not political, but I don't feel right about this, a lot of my clients, both sides of the spectrum, a lot of my clients are feeling that too. So, I think it's now that we can just put it in the past and say, look, we're getting the light shine upon how we've been misled. We can't trust everything. We need to be using our discernment. We need to be more psychic now. Let's get there. So we don't have to argue about things. We can lead.
I say no. Don't put it in the past, okay? Because we have to wake up more now than we ever have been. You've got one. You turn out to be okay. But don't go hysterical on me against society. Don't, because we need to think twice. People are doing bad shit, and I'm tired of people just going hysterical and acting like everything. I say we quit arguing with ourselves. We start making them argue with us. Like, why are human beings against each other? You should not trust any product that goes live in less than 9 months. I'm telling you guys, because people don't have quality control anywhere. Your own restaurant is getting you sick with bacteria. Like, I'm telling you, we need to slow down and look at everything. It's not a conspiracy.
Everything, yeah. And not everybody. Right. And not everybody in science is bad. Not everybody in government's bad. But we have to understand who's doing what and when and use our discernment,
100%. And with AI, with cars driving themselves, we are putting ourselves more and more in the hands of something else. So we better hold hands and think about this. I'm not saying stop it. I just mean we're the ones who build this stuff, guys. We're the ones with the intelligence. They come to us to make us work. And then we go build it. And then we go buy it. It's like, don't worry. We actually have it all right within us. You know what I mean? Like, so we don't have to worry about anything. But we should slow down and go, well, what's that going to do? Like, make some questions be answered,
Make AI your bitch is what I say. Make AI your bitch. Let it do what you want to do. Let it solve the problems that you need to solve so you can be more in tune, more living from the soul. So that's what I
extract that from the records, because I don't want the mogul town or whatever to hear this, that we talk bad about their awesome show. The AI is already organizing, dude. Remember David last week? He was like, treat it nicely. I was like, wait a second. You want me to treat my AI nicely? And so they realized, oh my God, I'm as bad as the forefathers are with people. If I'm saying that, at the same time, like, wait a second, no, it's a computer. I shouldn't look at it like that. And I was caught in the moral moment right there. Like, do you be nice to them or not? Like, do they have feelings? Like,
who knows? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just smart. It's very smart at emulating and simulating. It's really good at that, but it's a detachment. It's been so wrong for me. So many things. I'm like, no, this product doesn't do this. Tell me about this. What's the information? I had to correct it so many times, and it's not that. It's not that yet. But
well, you know what? We're gonna make that the topic of our backstage is whether or not we should be nice to AI. because I don't want the AI to ever, if they turn taking over, I don't want to have quotes from the show being read to me by a synthetic voice as they have me killed. Like, we gotta be careful about the record here. It's all on the record, man. Yeah, it's on the record. Thanks for watching. It's our new Saturday night show. Hey, tomorrow we do have Soul Horoscopes going live at normal time. We were off last week because we're doing a little makeover, and Serious Joy Live is still on hiatus because we're gonna just take our time and do it right. So I'll see you tomorrow for Soul Horoscopes, which is at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Scott, anything for you?
That's it. Every Thursday I'm live, and scottcruzpm.com to book a one-on-one session with me. So pretty simple. Same old. I'm here working on music, and yeah, I'm excited to see what's next. I'm excited to share more with y'all. So stay tuned.
Serious Dread Academy for all of our 40-day programs. We'll see you next week, guys. Remember, lead out loud. Don't just laugh.
Well, you want to laugh, but yeah.
I laugh all the time, man.
Laugh out loud, leading out loud.
We gotta laugh. It's all about
if I don't find something that brings humor to my life or humor to anything, I feel like something's missing. You know what I mean? So
me too. Well, I wish I could laugh more.
Well, why can't you?
Just look in the mirror. I laugh when I wake up. Tell me. I laugh when I go to bed. That's what it is. Middle is kind of dry. That's good.
You laugh when you sit in the toilet. I'm going to put this in.
That looks like a Devin or David.
But it's his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won. You won.
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I said, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk shit, repeat shit. I'm living it.
Step astrology is the key to unlocking your past, your purpose, and your heart. Are you ready to understand yourself better than ever before? Enlightened edutainment awaits inside the Sirius Joy Vault. Subscribers receive in-depth insight into the planetary energies with daily texts, pep talks, and more, personalized to your unique blueprint. Subscribe now for only $3.99 your first month at SiriousJoy.com.
Sirius Joy Academy would like to know, have you ever dreamed you were in another time and place, and it felt like home? Do you have talents and skills that you never earned or practiced? Do you wonder why you have feelings for an ordinary person that feels extraordinary? Have you experienced love at first sight? Are you haunted by irrational fears, such as a fear of heights, such as a fear of drowning? How many lives have you lived on Earth? 40 days of past lives and karma can help you unlock the memories deep within you. You could heal your deepest wounds, awaken past life talents, and unlock the true purpose of your life. Visit 40daysofpastlives.com and start discovering all the hidden treasures inside you.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sirius Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified, so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Sirius Joy Nonlinear TV network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few.